Today, Nigerians did a nationwide protest to let the government know about their frustration regarding the hardship in the country. And from the look of things, in some places, the protest was peacefully carried out, and in some other places, the whole thing turned into violence. And one of the most shocking aspects of this protest was the fact that the protesters were given a particular place to protest, which is stadium, which is strange to me. I believe it might be strange to you as well, because I've not seen the protest can only be done in a designated area given by the government officials. Meanwhile, the fellow Nigerians were used to kick against the protesters. In some places, hoodlums attacked the protesters. Just imagine it. How could fellow Nigerians be used to attack our fellow Nigerians that are out to exercise their rights? So, one thing that you and I must come to terms with is the fact that the political elites do not want you and I to be free. They do not want the common man to be free. That is why they are using fellow Nigerians to attack fellow Nigerians in order to promote their own agenda. They want you and I to be weak, to be powerless, to be dependent, and to be submissive to their agenda, so that they can use us to promote their own self-interest. They don't want you and I to be free. They don't want the masses to be free. Because once you are free, you won't be able to be used to further their own agenda. You won't comply to their own bidding once you are free. So they know that. So any attempt the masses try to make in order to be free, they are going to suppress that movement, which has clearly demonstrated in this protest today. How can we protest in the stadium alone instead of where the government officials could see us who are in the stadium? Is it football match that we want to play that we would be directed to protest in the stadium? They don't want you and I to be free. That is why they used the court to come up with the regulations as to how the protest will be done. That if you protest outside of the stadium, you'll be arrested, you will be penalized. How? So they don't want you and I to be free. They want us to be weak and powerless so that we can comply with them, we can comply to their bidding, we can act accordingly. Because they derive joy from seeing the masses suffering. They derive joy from the suffering of the masses. They don't care about whatsoever you are going through. They don't care if even if one cup of garri is 2,000 naira. They don't care even if a liter of petrol is 5,000 naira. They don't care about that. So far as they can afford it, they have no problem. So the only hope for a common man in this nation is for every one of us to ensure that we develop ourselves and empower ourselves on our own to ensure that our personal economy is being taken care of, while we are looking forward to have the national economy to be resurrected. And you might be saying that, how can my own personal economy be thriving when the government is not giving us an enabling environment to do business? But the truth is, despite the hardship that you and we are going through in this country, there are people that are still okay. And that is not to say that they are government officials. They are private individuals that are still thriving. Their personal economy is still moving well. So if that is possible for them, then it means that regardless of the hardship in the country, if we can painstakingly, like if we can develop ourselves in every possible ethical means to work on our personal economy, we're going to be thriving like those people that are thriving regardless of the hardship. Because the more we wait on the national economy to resurrect, the more frustration we are going to have. Even if you make Jesus Christ or the best candidate of your choice the president of this nation, even if you make Jesus Christ the president of this nation, the people around him are still going to frustrate his government. So it is not about the person. That is not to tell you that I'm in support of whoever that is in power right now. But I'm trying to let you know that it is not about the person that is in the power. It is about the willingness of the people in power to collectively come together and put in place the enabling environment, the enabling system that will aid the common man to rise, that will aid the common man to be free. But they are not going to do that because they are not willing. So regardless of whoever that is there, if they are not willing to do the right thing, and even if the person as a president is willing, the people, the cabinet around him are likely going to frustrate him because the operation is not centralized. It's everywhere. Anyone that is going there for his own self-interest, not for your own self-interest. They might act as if they want your best interest, they have your best interest at heart, but that is not true. They might promise you everything, but once they made their way to the power, you see their true color. So our hope should not be on anybody that is on the seat, because they are not going to do anything else unless they are collectively ready to create the system that will work for everyone in the city, that will work for every citizen in the country. But they're not going to do that. And a good example of that is how they are frustrating even Dangote. Dangote came up with a refinery that a whole nation cannot get to function. A single man is doing that, and the government is still trying to frustrate him. So they are still importing the oil from the outside country back down to Nigeria, whereas we have the citizen that is doing that voluntarily. He's doing that. Instead of the government to patronize him, they are still importing the oil. They are trying to frustrate him. To tell you that the political elites, they don't want the freedom of the citizen. They don't want any citizen to thrive. So instead of we complaining and whining, as well as lashing out at them, all the insults that we are willing at them, all the curses that we are willing at them, they don't care. In fact, some of them, they don't even they don't even know God. They don't see God as anything. They might be affiliating with any religion. They might be calling themselves Christian or Muslim, just to aid them into power, but they don't have any regard for religion. They don't have any regard for God. So that is why your cause cannot work on them, because you know that your cause is nothing to them. So instead of complaining, whining, and cursing them, it is time for us to focus on our personal economy while we are waiting for the national economy to change. So that protest doesn't shake them. It doesn't do anything to them. They are still going to continue to do what they want to do to further their own self-interest. So we have to do something to ensure that our personal economy is thriving. This is not the time for us to take our personal economy lightly. This is the time to do everything possible. Any investment that we need to do, any business that we need to start up in order to get ourselves up the ladder of the pyramid. The people at the top of the pyramid, they don't want the people at the bottom of the pyramid to be free. Because once you are free, you won't be submissive to them. You won't be acting according to their bidding. So this is the time for us to do everything possible to get our personal economy to be thriving, regardless of whether they create the enabling environment or not. So far as some people are still succeeding, so far as some people are still thriving, regardless of whatsoever that is happening, if we can go out there with determination to put everything in place for ourselves and our loved ones, so I believe we will be fine by God's grace.